Welcome back to the Achieve Your Apex podcast. Chad Hyams here, continuing what we've been talking about since the beginning of the podcast, yet specifically, really continuing what we were talking about in last week's episode. Okay, so last week we were talking about relationships and the power of them. And I was giving you some practical steps for creating and nurturing meaningful relationships with 5 principles to pay attention to. Last week, we talked about being present. We talked about avoiding assumptions, and we talked about removing expectations. Let's get to the last two, number 4 and number 5 on this list right now in this episode. And number 4 is respect and kindness. We must have respect and kindness for other people. Now, I know people are laughing. If you know me really well, you're like, really, Chad? Really? That's what you're going to tell us? Look, I have respect and kindness for people. I do. I might just push, yet there's always respect. Because if I don't have the respect for you, I wouldn't care enough to push and challenge. Respect and kindness are that foundation for trust, and trust is the foundation for every relationship we have. So you have to treat people with respect and dignity, because that's going to help build relationship. And I'll tell you, I don't know how old you are that you're listening, yet this person probably built trust with you through respect and kindness, and that's Mr. Rogers. Was there any man out there that showed respect and kindness more than Mr. Rogers? Whether that was taking the time to listen to a puppet, right? Or whether that was sharing someone's story or doing something for Mr. Mailman. I can't remember his name right now. Whatever it was, Mr. Rogers always showed us and the people he interacted with respect and kindness. If you can do that, then you can end up having a great foundation for every relationship you want to build. Okay? Henry James, because I've been grabbing quotes to go along with this stuff, and Henry James said, 3 things in human life are important. The first is to be kind. The second is to be kind. And the third is to be kind. So yes, even coming from me through the words of Henry James, be kind. All right, number 5 on our list. We've talked about the first 3 last episode. We just hit on respect and kindness. The 5th is you have to always show your best self. You can't be less than who you are and think you're going to build a friendship, which becomes a relationship. Because relationships are built on trust. And if you're not being your best self, whatever that means to you, sooner or later, they're going to figure out you've been lying to them. And if you've been lying to them, you're going to violate the trust that you've been building and the opportunities you've been creating. So I want you to understand that you have to bring your best self, which means a positive attitude. It means the level you belong at. Don't dumb yourself down and don't bring a depressed version of you. I'm not saying you don't battle depression. I'm just saying don't bring a depressed version of yourself to it. Bring your best self. Step it up. Take that moment to say, I'm going to be positive. You've heard the expression, fake it until you make it. That doesn't mean in a legal place, right? Lawyers should never fake it until they make it, or they're going to lose lawsuits and end people up in jail or costing them a lot of money. Okay? Fake it till you make it means put a smile on your face until you have become happy. That's what we're talking about when you hear fake it till you make it. So put on your best self. Be consistent. Have the integrity that you do. Be reliable. If you say you're going to do something, do it. Be your best self. Go do that thing. Okay? Now, Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we go high. And how many people go low? How many people do you know that it's drama? It's I'm going to attack someone's character. And I don't care if that even means you're talking to a friend about someone else. That's gossip. When you're talking about someone that isn't there, you're gossiping. That's the definition of it. You don't have to go low as well. Be your best self, go high. When you go high, when you show integrity, when you show positivity, you're going to put yourself into a position that you're creating trust with people that when you're the one talking to someone else, they know you're not talking badly about them. Okay, so we covered the 5. Go back and listen to the last episode. Go back and hit the beginning of this episode. Now I'm going to give you 2 strategies that I like to employ. Now, here's the thing I want you to understand. Just because you have a system doesn't mean you're not authentic. System number 1, I have a list of my top 30 relationships. And they're numbered 1 through 30. Not in order of, oh, well, this one's more important than that one. Just in the order that I have them. And when I get to more than 30, I remove someone from that list and I probably replace it with someone else. That's not saying you can't have more than 30 relationships. That's just saying my top 30, I'm going to be extra careful how I pay attention to them. And each one has a number. And whatever the date is today when you're listening, grab that number, call that person, text that person, connect however you connect, see them in the office, whatever it is, have a purposeful connection with that person. Just because you have a system that says, oh, it's the 18th, I got person number 18 on my list, that doesn't mean it's not authentic to send them a text message that you care or something you saw on social media or checking in with somebody. These are people you have relationships with. It shouldn't be hard to wonder what to say to them and to be able to say it authentically. It's just that you have a system that reminds you, I haven't reached out to them in a while. Now, if the 18th shows up, for example, and you just talked to that person yesterday or the day before, you don't have to do it again. You don't have to force it. That's not authentic. It's just to make sure that the relationships that matter don't get forgotten because you go 4, 5, 6 months without talking and have to rebuild a lot of that stuff. Now I'm going to give you another strategy that the acronym is TOAST. TOAST. And it says to the people we want relationships with, and this can be someone who you already have one with or someone you're developing one with. The T stands for talk to them once a month. Okay, not text. Now, there are some people who don't want to pick up the phone and have a conversation with you. So you can have that conversation over text if need to, but it is a talk to somebody. Okay, the OA, offer assistance to those people. Ask, what can I do to help? Come from contribution. In every conversation you have with someone that you have or are developing a relationship with, you should be saying the words, what can I do for you? How can I help you? Who can I connect you to? Whatever question is you want to ask, we'll cover questions in a future episode. Whatever question it is you want to ask, make sure you're providing value to those people in that relationship. Okay, the S, send them something. Send them something. Okay? You can send an email, you can send a text, you can send it in the mail. Send them something. Maybe it's a handwritten note card just to show that they're worth that extra time. Maybe it's an article you saw that you think they want to see. Maybe send something to them. And then the T would be text at the end. We talk to them at the beginning. We should text them at least once a month at the end. Of course, if that talk conversation is done over text, then okay. Maybe it's just touch them some way, whatever that is. And I don't mean touch like I got to physically touch, because a lot of the people I have relationships with, as I've said, it's been years since I've seen. It's been months since I've seen some. I have a relationship with mom. Mom matters. If you're listening, mom, I love you. Yet I don't see mom all the time. Touch doesn't mean physical touch, but it means touch them somehow. Text them, talk to them. You take the T's and make them work for you. A system will make your relationships thrive, specifically if it's a new one you're looking to develop. Want to develop a relationship with me? Connect with me. ChadHyams.com, or you can find me on social medias at Chad Hyams. Let's talk. Until then, share these episodes with someone, because someone is in a relationship with you, and maybe they should learn some of these lessons as well, so the two of you can strengthen it as it moves forward. Until our next episode, keep climbing.